Hey, my Sagittarius. This video is for all of my Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And if you look at your chart and you're like, dang, I have a lot of ninth house energy, or I have a lot of Sagittarius, this video could resonate for you. Remember, always take what applies and let the rest fly. There might be parts that you're like, yes, that's spot on. And some parts that you're like, that doesn't seem like my story. And that's okay. So the overall energy for you guys is acceptance. And I'm going to read this card. And this says, there is great freedom in accepting the things as they are. You cannot move forward on your path until you release some of the blame, anger, and sorrow that you've collected on your life's journey. This card is asking you to forgive those from the past who have hurt you and to be willing to forgive yourself too. Open your heart to the world outside and the one within. This is a deeper state of recognition and acceptance. It's what pushes you forward on your spiritual adventure. Love without judgment. Live without predetermined opinions. Accept and express yourself true. The ego is beginning to align with the soul. What a relief. You don't have to control everything, fix everything, or know everything. And if you are overly serious and tense, you will now start to remember happiness. You may find that you can laugh at things instead of getting infuriated. Your contentment in life improves dramatically when you harness the ability to look at the world from your spiritual perspective. And that's interesting because that card said laughter. And this is one of the outcomes for you guys. And it says, uplift your spirit and those around you through loving laughter. What I'm feeling is, it seems like there's like some sort of couple dynamic or friendship dynamic right now that is a little icy. It's a little cold with this King and Queen of Swords. It's very funny because the King and Queen came out, and I rarely ever pull them at the same time, but the King of Swords kind of has a poker face, and the Queen of Swords has a smirk on her face that to me is kind of like you both know something that the other one doesn't know. There's some sort of dynamic going on where I feel like there's something that you know, or there seems to be like a coolness. Like instead of a loving nature, it feels a little stiff. It feels a little guarded. It feels a little bit like, I would even say for some people that could resonate as petty, but maybe there was some back and forth. Sometimes with the King and Queen, it represents the mind and thoughts. And because we have time to breathe out, maybe some of you guys have been getting in arguments and the energy has been gaining momentum and it needs to be released. There's like this heavy underlining energy, and even if you haven't had an energy exchange or a fight with words, maybe you've thought some things that you kind of are like, there seems like there's some sort of secrets, or like maybe you're wanting to get out of a situation, or you're looking at something else, or you're just avoiding confrontation, but there's this underlining energy building. And don't be scared, y'all. This is just an archetype card, but with this exorcist, it says fear of facing your own demons. So maybe there's some sort of dynamic between you and another person where I feel like someone is feeling abandoned with this orphan energy. It says the positive attributes are independence based on fear of learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. But the shadow attributes are feeling abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. So I feel like there's an energy of this couple or a friendship or some sort of relationship dynamic where both people are not really showing how they feel authentically about something, and someone's kind of absent, looking away, wanting to get away because they're not facing their demons about their abandonment issues, or there's something that needs to be expressed about how they feel powerless or how they once did, some sort of story, some sort of narrative, and it can come off as someone's being avoidant and kind of indecisive about making a decision, and right now they're stuck. And so because we're in this situation right now, there's a need to kind of take a moment away from it and get back to who you really are, because we have the King and Queen we have the Queen and Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands, and I feel like underneath these masks are these people. I'm really feeling like there's like a nurturing, one person's kind of more nurturing and one's more fiery, but it's not being expressed. So the person who's I'm feeling like this is the feminine energy, regardless of energy, and this is the masculine. But I'm feeling like there's it's like this is when people talk about social mask, I feel like there's some sort of social mask, or like you got into a fight, or something about not showing all of your authenticity that needs to be healed with this star card. See how the star card, she's naked? There's a vulnerability in this star. There's a balance with the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups can represent soulmates. So I feel like this, if this is not resonating for some sort of dynamic that's romantic, this might not resonate with you. You might want to pick a different part of your chart. But even if this is a friendship, there's some sort of healing and balance and love and vulnerability that is going to need to take place for you to really see your partner. I feel like this could also be happening because of quarantine, although this is timeless, because this is the Hermit card, and traditionally the Hermit card is about withdrawing yourself, like getting away from the other person. But you see how there's this fire, there's this inner fire in them, and you guys are Sagittarius, so it's like maybe the Sagittarius, you know, if this is for you, maybe you're feeling a little trapped, you're feeling like you're having to be too vulnerable in the situation. You're used to traveling because, you know, Sagittarius rules travel. Sagittarius is on the go. It likes to express themselves. And there's a lot of demons coming up, a lot of past things, because you're sitting there in quarantine with your spouse, or you're sitting here looking at a situation, or you're thinking about someone, and it's bringing up all these emotions, and there's a need to take a breathe out. And it says, you know, I feel like you're conquering things you never thought you could do. Like you can travel, you can be badass, you can do all these Sagittarius amazing things. You guys are very fearless and beautiful and active, but now you're kind of having to be transformed by the stillness, and that can be very challenging. This card says, the more I do, the more I believe I can do. So I think you're surprising yourself. You're in this place of surprising yourself with really revealing. There's a need to reveal who you really are. Like there's certain aspects of yourself that can only be expressed when you overcome your demons. What demons are you holding on to with this exorcist energy? What are you looking at once was? Because there's a need to release it and to be transformed. It looks like he's in a house too. You're being transformed by your vulnerability. Oh, that's deep, Sagittarius. A lot of transformation. I feel like these are the energies of the couple that they're hiding. One person is really powerful and loving and a little spiritual, and like someone who can manifest anything. Someone who, you know, even if this is a male, I feel like you can manifest anything. You have a really positive mindset. You know, you're all thinking about like future growth with your spouse, equality, and one person's really nurturing and loving, maybe a little stubborn, but can get things done, and it's very, maybe makes a lot of money. With this Queen of Pentacles, but it's very generous. So there's a need to own your differences, because right now it's like with your social masks on, even though you might appear to be the same, you're really not. Because with this, these are two different elements. This is more of a fiery person, maybe a really creative person, someone who's like into creative projects and, you know, all types of creative things. And this person's more practical. This person's more like, okay, logical, but they're very nurturing. And I feel like, see how she's got the rabbit and this person's got the cat, like you guys are different, but there's a need to honor your differences. And even if this is just a friend, there's a need to kind of let down your social mask so that you can have the authenticity and the laughter and the happiness and the healing in your dynamics with your relationships. This is a really tough time for everyone, but for Sagittarius, you're really being transformed because you guys love to be on the go. You know, you love to express yourself, and now you're really changing for the better. So we have divine timing. So be patient with yourself. This vulnerability might take time, but it's going to happen at the right time. You're evolving, and take some time to breathe out. Some of you guys need to meditate. Some of you guys need to work out in the house, go for a run, be outside, because this energy needs to be released and it's gaining momentum. I feel like whatever you're not saying, there's a need to express that energy so that you don't take it out on someone. And then we have 7th house. So some of you guys, like I said, could be dealing with a marriage, someone that you're married to, someone that you could see yourself with long term. Balance. This card also represents balance and healing. So there's a need to be give and take. It can't be one-sided. We have the new moon. So some of you guys, by the next new moon, which would be Gemini season, might be seeing some significant changes in your relationships. And childhood dreams. So I feel like there's a lot of healing with things that you're passionate about. Like I said, one person's really passionate about their dreams and they're making them come true. And they will come true when you let down your defenses and you really let your inner passions come. Like they come from within you, not just by what you do, but from who you are. And there's a need to be more vulnerable and light and happy and just whatever you can do to get to that space. Okay, Sagittarius, that was your reading. I love doing these readings for you guys. You can book a personal reading with me if you'd like. My website link is in my bio. Also, I have my Venmo for donations. I love doing these videos and getting those donations. Thank you for everyone that's been donating. I'm so grateful. That keeps me pumping out content for you guys on a regular basis. And if not, I really appreciate the love, the comments, and the likes. And I will see you guys in the next reading.